Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how to become a programmer. But before the video starts, I'm going to tell you some of the rumors about programming. One of the rumors are they say you need to have a really good specs of laptop and others. And it's actually true, but not that good. I'm using MacBook 2017. This is second. So the minimum RAM is about, I don't know, but the core is Intel i5. That's the minimum core. So let's start by what is a programmer. Programmer is the person that programs anything, and by anything I mean making web and making application. As you can see, both of these, the web and application, are both made by programmers because they are programming it. So basically you can make anything if you have become a programmer. If you want to make something like website for your private class, you can do it with programming. If you want to make a web, then you can also do it if you become a programmer. Now, I'm going to start with the usually asked questions. The first one, and I hear this a lot if you hear something like programming. The first one is, can you actually hack to become a programmer? The answer is yes, you can. If you want to hack something like your game, a game like Fortnite, Mobile Legends, anything, you can hack it. If you know what the integrated development environment /IDE. And then, what is an IDE? I'm going to explain it later. And yes, you can hack if you have become a programmer. And then, what application do we have to use when programming? The application is there are many applications, but it's different to make the application and web. If you want to make a web, you can use anything as long as you save it and put a .html, CSS, and also JavaScript in the end. So you can make web with Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, and edit text or text edit, anything as long as you add the .html on the back. And for Android development, I use an application called called Android Studio. That is from Decoding. And Android Studio is the integrated development network, development environment. So what I mean environment is, this application is used for you to make the program. So if you want to make an application like Line, WhatsApp, Facebook, and anything, you can use the Android Studio to make the application. And for the third one is, what and where can we study becoming a programmer? In my opinion, the best way and the best site to become a programmer is Decoding. You can search Decoding on the web because there's a free trial. So just go to Decoding on the web and then press to the Academy, then press Android Developer Beginner. That's the easiest part of programming. And then back to the Android Studio. As I have explained earlier, Android Studio is the IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. Basically, it's where you make your programs. And then with Android Studio, everything is already set for you to program easier. Back in the days, when a programmer uses Android Studio, the older Android Studio, it's like it's so hard. What I mean by hard is, there is no shortcuts, so they have to memorize all the codes and then type it with words. And back in the days, there's also no indicators for if there's a wrong program or anything else. In this Android Studio, there is a navigator, so if you have a wrong program, there is an underline, the color of the underline is red, which means it's wrong. You have to redo it again. And there's the yellow line, which means that's a warning, that could be an error. But if it's a yellow underline, your program could still move on. And Android Studio uses two languages. The first one is Java, and the second one is Kotlin. I recommend using Kotlin for beginners, because Kotlin is actually easier, because you don't have to add a public on the start. There's a code called public, static, and integrated. I'm going to explain it in the next video. And then Kotlin doesn't have to use the dot and thingy on the end, so you just have to press enter. But if you could do both of them, Java and Kotlin, that would be better, because you can make anything with any language you use. But the language for programming is not only that too. It's not only Java and Kotlin. There is also C#, there is also C++, there is also C, there is also Python, and many more. And usually I use with Java. So in Android Studio, if I'm making a program, I use Java language, because I already learned that a lot. And then moving on to the web where I study programming, it's called decoding. So decoding is made by Narendra, and he's a friend of mine, I think. And decoding has classes. The classes is not only about Android developer beginner, Android developer expert, and many more. But decoding has a lot of class. There's also IoT class, and then there is also web development class, and many more. So if you want to learn about everything about programming, you can learn decoding, because decoding is already perfect. Not just that, decoding also provides you with jobs. So if you already have the certificate and you already feel good enough in programming, you can instantly find a job and make money for your life. So in decoding, I studied with the class named Android Developer Beginner, and I studied a lot, like how to make next page, how to make intent, and how to make many more. One of the codes that I memorized is second partition. And then in my laptop here, you can see that there's an example of codes. See, there's the public, and then the class, and the imports. All of that is used on your program. So if you actually done one of the schedules, then you have to make the schedule. You have to make the schedule and then just redo it. Because if you don't do it, then your program will never stop. And then after you graduate, after you get the certificate of Android beginner, you can get the Android expert, which is on a higher level than the Android beginner. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips for becoming a programmer. The tips is, if you start to become a programmer, please always do read, because the key of becoming a programmer is just reading. So if you found an error and you search it on the web, on the Google, you have to read, because, or the other example is, if you found like logic error is not visualized in your computer. That is why you have to read the codes and find the code for yourself. So I think that's all about my short tutorial video. I'm going to end here. I hope this helps you in your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.